Yeah, so about what happened last night. Bam Adebayo scored 83 points for the Miami Heat in a 150-129 victory over the 16-48 Washington Wizards. In this contest, Bam was 20 of 43 from the field, 7 of 22 from three-point range, and 36 of 43 from the free throw line. Now, I knew this stat line was comical, and it immediately grossed me out. I thought some people might be upset about the antics, but I'm genuinely pleasantly surprised by the level of backlash that Bam and the Heat is getting for this. There was stat padding, shot chucking, intentional fouling, intentionally missed shots by teammates, running up the score in a blowout, force-feeding Bam the ball, he was shooting through triple teams. It had everything in a manufactured fourth quarter. People were so upset about this that some people in my comments were mad at me for not being more upset than I seemed. Now, what you guys don't realize is this is a little bit more complex. The reason I didn't seem upset last night is because I'm really not that angry. I'm just apathetic. Most people have been responding in shock and anger, and I've been telling you guys the last 5 years that Kobe's record was going down because of everything we saw last night. Three-point shooting inflation, scoring inflation, the free throws, the stat padding, and how Adam Silver has said on live television that he made offense easier because he thinks it's what fans want. Now you want me to act shocked and angry? Nah guys, I understood this years ago. And now after I've been warning you guys and telling everybody that this was coming, we want to act like it's some unforeseeable news? Sure, I didn't predict that Bam was going to do it, but I predict that somebody was going to do it in the fashion that Bam did it because it was obvious. This is the way the NBA has been going. We've been talking about foul baiting, we've been talking about three-point shooting, we've been talking about players putting their stats first. This shouldn't be surprising to anybody who's been paying attention. And finally, some young fans are starting to see that I'm not just hating. You have to live in a world now where Bam Adebayo has the second highest scoring performance in NBA history. A guy who shoots a career 4.7 free throw attempts per game took 43 last night. Now let me clarify something that really needs to be clarified. Did I call it an amazing performance last night? Absolutely, and I stand by that, but there is some nuance to it that can't be ignored. What was amazing was how Bam had 62 points through 3 quarters, and his Heat had a 19-point lead over the second worst team in the Eastern Conference. That was the amazing part that was worthy of praise. But it should have stopped there. Maybe bring him out in just the first few minutes of the fourth and see that lead go to 23 or 25. In the fourth quarter, with just under 7 minutes left in the game, Bam had 71 points, and the Heat were up by 28. That would have been the perfect spot to sub him out. I would argue that it was the necessary spot to do it. But they didn't do that. And what comes after was probably the most shameless stat padding that we've ever seen. Listen, people are going to give me crap and say you just didn't want to see Kobe's record broken because you're a Kobe fan. Nah guys, I gotta be honest, I would have loved to have seen it happen if it had happened in the right way. But what Bam and Eric Spoelstra did is bigger than the Kobe comparisons. Not only did Kobe have 62 against the Mavericks and sat out the fourth, but Klay Thompson had 60 and sat out the fourth. James Harden had 60 and sat out the fourth. Joel Embiid had 70 and got subbed out for the final half of the fourth quarter. I could go on, but a precedent was set, and the Heat completely ignored that precedent and stat padded their way to 83. In the history of the NBA, no player had ever scored at least 65 points while shooting less than 50% from the field. Because theoretically, in order to genuinely score that many points, you gotta be pretty hot from the field to earn those points. That was until Bam scored 83 last night on 46%. Again, there was a standard set of how this should be done, and shooting 3-point shots through triple teams in the fourth quarter where your team has a 30-point lead isn't it. I honestly found this next stat very comical, so I want you guys to think about this and truly ponder it. Bam Adebayo had 31 points at the end of the first quarter. After the first quarter, he only shot 10 of 27 from the field, and he ended up with 83 points. How do you shoot 10 of 27 from the field in the final 3 quarters and end up with 83? Now some people, and even some ESPN analysts, are defending Bam by making the point that Wilt Chamberlain did the same thing when he scored 100 points. Now this is absolutely true to a certain extent. If you listen to the radio broadcasts or testimonies from people who were actually there, they will let you know that Wilt Chamberlain was clearly going for the record in the second half. But let's also not act like people haven't been trying to invalidate that game constantly over the last 5 years. At this point, people debate whether or not it should even count because a lot of people don't even think it happened. If anything, Bam's performance should be evidence that under the right circumstances, and if you just push for it hard enough, it probably can happen. But it is worth mentioning, I have been extremely consistent on this. Wilt Chamberlain and his team were stat padding in the 100-point game. But that's why I have always said that Kobe's 81 was way more impressive. In 2006, the Lakers were in the hunt for a playoff spot, and the Lakers were trailing by 14 at halftime. Heck, the Lakers only had a 6-point lead heading into the fourth quarter. They needed just about every point that Kobe provided in order to secure that victory, which is what made it so special. It was genuine and competitive basketball. This Bam game? Not so much. I don't understand how players start literal fights over a guy, quote, running up the score with an exciting dunk at the end of the game, and yet Bam can go an entire fourth quarter chucking up shots in a blowout, and we're just supposed to celebrate it like it's no big deal? Make that make sense. My biggest concern is that this sets an alarming precedent in the NBA. If we only celebrate Bam for doing this and don't give him any flack whatsoever, then other players are gonna look at these gimmicky tactics and think that it's worth it. A lot of people are saying 83 points is 83 points. But is it? Is it truly? Are we gonna say that this is on the same level as Kobe's 81? Because I don't think so. I honestly think this is gonna go down as the single game version of KD's 2 rings after joining the 73-9 Warriors. Like, yeah, you did it, but it's how you got there that people don't respect. Bam Adebayo gave his perspective on his own performance, and when asked what Kobe would say about it, Bam said, "Go do it again." Now admittedly, at first, that does sound like something Kobe would say. But I would argue that Kobe already gave his opinion on this when he refused to play in the fourth quarter where he had 62 points against the Dallas Mavericks. In fact, 5 times Kobe had at least 50 through 3 quarters, and in 4 of those contests, he sat out in the fourth. The only time he actually played in the fourth quarter was when he needed to in order to secure the victory, which ended up being the 81-point game. So yeah, it's annoying, but also kind of expected. One of the reasons I don't seem more mad about this is because not only did I know it was coming from someone, but I also think that anyone with a single brain cell is going to understand that Kobe's performance is way more impressive than Bam's 83. To be honest, if you think Bam's performance is just as impressive as Kobe's, then I will never be able to take your basketball opinion seriously. This was one of the most inauthentic performances that I have ever seen in my entire life, but especially for what happened in the fourth quarter. Players have always been taking advantage of bad matchups. Kobe did score 81 on a bad Raptors team that took way too long to start double teaming him. Wilt Chamberlain scored 100 points against a bad New York Knicks team who was missing their starter because he was out with a hangover. And Bam Adebayo took advantage of one of the worst teams in their conference and lit him up for a lot of points. So from that perspective, I don't think anything here isn't worthy of praise because that's kind of been the standard throughout NBA history. But again, it all changed in the fourth quarter, where he was chucking up shot after shot and his teammates were force-feeding him the ball, and they were even going as far as missing free throw attempts on purpose to try to get Bam the rebound. It's not just fans, it's not just YouTubers, but it looks like many NBA head coaches and even some players are very upset about this. Hell, Victor Wembanyama looked genuinely pissed off. And honestly, I kind of understand why. This was supposed to be a special moment when it eventually happened. Somebody actually outscored Kobe Bryant's 81-point game. Kobe Bryant, a fierce competitor, who cared more about winning than anything else on the basketball court. And yet the guy who surpassed him did it in such a way that was completely against everything that Kobe stood for during his playing career. Other guys in the league, like Wemby, like Luka, like SGA, potentially saw this 81-point game as a motivational number for them. Maybe one day it could be them setting that record, but instead they had to see a guy go 10 of 27 in the final 3 quarters, shoot 43 free throws, and a 6'9" big man shoot 22 3-point attempts as he did everything that he could to score his 83 points. So in closing, yes, it's impressive to a point. And then frankly, it became insulting. So what do you guys think? How would you describe Bam Adebayo's 83-point game? I look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comment section below. Shout out to the members as always for supporting the channel, and thanks for watching as always. Make sure to like and subscribe for more basketball content, and I'll see you guys in the next video.